Welcome you to this morning's event hosted by WholeEats Africa. Whether you're joining us from Lagos, wherever it is, maybe within the country, outside the country, or somewhere else. Today we're going to be having this webinar, and this year's theme is collaboration for nutrient resilience, herbs, farmers, and nutrition. And really, that's what today is all about. I'm going to be using a whole lot of today because I think we're already leaving tomorrow. So, it's simply how we can work together across science, nutrition, and business to build stronger, healthier food systems for Africa. Um, within my knowledge, I know that food is power, it's culture, it's medicine, and most of all, it's resilience. So today, we're going to be hearing from some incredible minds who are showing what happens when science meets innovation and nature meets knowledge. Um, to officially to officially start today, I would like to welcome one of our own, someone that inspires us, and the reason for this webinar today. I'd like um, to call on Mrs. Kemi Jeje, the founder and CEO of WholeEats Africa, whose personal journey from illness to wellness birthed the mission where celebrate birthed this organization, right? And I would like her to give us a welcome speech, an opening speech to kick off the event for today.
Thank you very much, Rachel. Can everyone hear me okay? If you can hear me, please, can I see a thumbs up? Fantastic. Good morning, everyone. I'm super excited to see everyone. Thank you for making out time. It's a work day. It's midday, so we're all very busy. We're all busy professionals, consultants, doctors, business owners, and to have made out time to be part of this shows that this is very important. This particularly is a topic that is dear to my own heart, like Rachel had indicated. I'm super excited about the power of herbs and the business of it and the regulation of it and the processing of it. And, all things herb excites me. So this year on the World Foods Day, we're discussing not just the power of herbs, but how we collaborate to actually make it readily available, to make it safe, to make business of it, and, to just leverage the power of herbs. So we're looking at not just those that grow the herbs, but those that study it. We have doctors in the house, those that study it and let us know that this is safe for this and this is good for this. And those that process it, like, some of the brands that we have in-house. We have Rita in-house, we have Mediti in-house. We also have BioNaturals in-house. We have some herbal processing organizations in-house, and those that make business of it, and those that consume it. So for me, it's the beginning of really a conversation. We can't exhaust this we can't possibly exhaust this conversation today, but we can definitely open it up wide and deep enough to continue the conversation after this place. So what's exciting to me also is the fact that we're not just looking at, we're looking at it on this table where we have professionals. In recent times, I believe it's getting better, but we've had a lot of abuse of herbs, and we've had a lot of people that could have and would have benefited from herb stay away from it. And we can't calculate how much loss that has brought in terms of chronic illnesses, in terms of even deaths that could have been prevented if we're able to properly leverage the power of herbs. And this brings to my mind a country like China, where they've been able to successfully integrate their medical science and their herbal science, and it's brought them to the fore of the herbal industry, which I believe, I dare say that we're rich. Africa is one of the richest continents when it comes to herbs. One time I traveled to China and I happened to visit the hospital, and on the left wing, you'll see your entrance into the orthodox wing, and then on the right wing, you see herbal medicine. So you choose what you want. And I really do have a dream that at some point in Nigeria, we get to that point. And it's this kind of conversations that actually, drive further conversations, drive policy, drive businesses to begin to look in that area. So I'd like to welcome our speakers. We have on board Dr. Margaret Ilumoanya. I'm going to allow the honors of introducing her properly to the anchor of the event. We have Dr. Stella as well. We have a lot of doctors in-house. Thank you all so much. And we have Mr. Adeolu Akinyemi, that's my own personal mentor. Please make welcome for all this for the three speakers that we have on board. He's a business consultant, he's an industry leader. He brings a very interesting spin because as powerful as herbs is, if we're not able to leverage it profitably, how do we then put time and energy and the resources we have on top of it to make it available, at scale? So please join me and welcome our three speakers. If you can, put your hands together for them, your thumbs up, and welcome yourselves too for making our time to be here. So I'm going to hand over the mic to the anchor of today's webinar. I'm going to sit back. I have my herbal tea with me, and I hope you have yours too, as we practice what we're beginning to, spread as a culture in Nigeria. So the next person you're going to hear and see is Rachel. She's the anchor of today's webinar. Thank you all so much for making our time. And I hope we have a very rich deliberation this morning.
All right, thank you so much, Mrs. Jeje. Thank you so much for that warm welcome. Thank you for setting the tone for this event today. I think that one thing, the time I've known you, one thing you keep talking about is how much herbs Nigeria has as a country, and how we're not nursing it well. And I really want to say that you you inspire us to want to put in effort towards our environment, what we have around us. It doesn't have to be the big thing, the little things around us. You show us that these things actually are medicinal, and they can be of great help to us. So thank you so much. Thank you so much for that. Um, we are going to, like Mrs. Jeje rightly mentioned, we have three speakers today to speak to us on this event, and I dare say that these people have the right information, and they are well seasoned in their field. So be rest assured that we're having the right information. Be rest assured that we're going to leave here equipped with the right information. And trust me, with the information you get from here today, I'm sure that there's a whole lot you can do with it. But I'd like us to, drop our favorite emojis if we're enjoying this session. Encourage the speakers, and let know if we're really following whatever the speaker is teaching us today. Thank you very much. All right, thank you so much. So we're going to be calling our first speaker for today. To begin this first session, we'll start with science, the foundation of everything we do at WholeEats. I think, like I said, it's the foundation. Without science, we'll probably not be talking about herbs in relation to medicine. So, our first speaker today, she's a fellow of Pharmaceutical Society of Nigeria and a globally recognized researcher whose work focuses on novel drug delivery systems, from HIV prevention technologies to cosmeceuticals and herbal innovations. She was named among the top 100 biomedical engineers in Africa by the Royal Academy of Engineering UK, and her team developed a low-cost pregnancy disorder detector and a herbal anti-acne cream that now is in use commercially. I'm not seeing the reaction. This is a whole lot. I think that this is a whole lot of embodiment. Please, since we can't hear you clap, I'd like to see your reaction. This is a whole lot. She currently leads the MED Africa GMP laboratory, the first of its kind in a university in West Africa, where she's pioneering pharmaceutical innovations for women's health. So please join me in welcoming Dr. Margaret as she takes us through the science of herbs from natural compounds to nutrient innovation. Guys, please let's encourage her, let's react. Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Margaret. You have 15 minutes to share with us your insight.
Thank you very much, Rachel, for that intro. Good morning, everyone. I also want to thank my very good friend from WholeEats for dragging me into this webinar. I'm very happy to be here. I think first off the bat, for you to actually be on this call, you actually believe in the power of herbs and the power of, our own traditional medicines. And the first thing I want, if you don't remember anything, I think you should remember this, that your food is your medicine. What you eat is your medicine. So, herbal science meets modern medicine. Nigeria is home to over 450 different ethnic groups. Each of these ethnic groups have their own rich tradition of herbal medicines. If we look at things like dogon yaro, you look at things like bitter leaf, ewuro, scent leaf, moringa, all these ones have been used for a long time to treat malaria, to treat infections, to treat diabetes, to treat digestive issues. These herbs contain bioactive compounds. These herbs contain bioactive compounds like your alkaloids, your flavonoids, your terpenoids, and each of these bioactive compounds have therapeutic effects. The main challenge is the fact that we've not been able to standardize and have scientific validation for a lot of the herbs that are available to us in Nigeria. Now, when we look at my own area, which is pharmaceutical optimization, I would look at it in terms of from the leaves to the lab. And modern pharmaceutics steps in to do 4 specific things. We step in to isolate and purify active compounds from your herbal products. Then we step in to standardize the dosages so that these herbal products can be safe and effective. For example, if you look at something like ginger, as beautiful as ginger is, as high in antioxidants as ginger is, if you eat too much ginger, you will end up with diarrhea, and it can mess up your electrolyte level. So standardization of dosage forms is very, very important. Standardization of the herbal products that we use is very important. And then the next one that is key, very critical, is the fact that we should be able to test the interaction with other foods. How do these herbs that we take, how do they interact with other foods? How do these herbs that we take, how do they interact with other drugs? Because when you look at the fact that a lot of people are now using herbal medicines, but they're also going to the hospital to take conventional medicines. So the next question is, these herbs that we are taking, how is it interacting with the conventional drugs that we are eating? So these are the types of optimization that is necessary. And then, of course, developing new delivery systems, new ways for us to eat the herbs, new ways for us to consume our plants. Like, for example, traditionally, beans is consumed by almost all ethnic groups. You can boil it, you can have it fried in terms of akara, you can have it steamed in terms of moi moi, you can have it, cooked and boiled and eaten, whether with oil or on its own. But how about us actually developing a way that beans can be eaten as a cereal, pre-packed cereal, where you have it pre-packed like the pre-packed foreign cereal that we have? Why can't we? Beans is very rich in carbohydrates, very rich in protein. It's a balanced meal. So how can we now develop that delivery system for beans that it is pre-packed? Every time I look and see things like baked beans in the market, why don't we have a Nigerian brand of baked beans in the market? So developing a way to ensure that our own foods are utilized. Beans, for example, is very, very important in management of kwashiorkor. It is also very, very important in management of people that have wasting syndrome. And then for people that are trying to gain weight after surgery, beans is very necessary. So do you imagine where they have given you a list of things to buy, and then we have probably WholeEats having developed a beans pudding in a tube that somebody can press and then just consume, and it helps out. So that is what we need to start thinking about when it comes to pharmaceutical or herbal optimization from leaves to the labs. So let me go over that again. We want to try and isolate and purify active compounds from herbs. We want to standardize this for safety and efficacy. Then we want to test interaction with other drugs and foods, and possibly develop novel delivery systems where we can continue to consume these herbs as food or as medicines in a way that is convenient for us. Researchers in Nigeria have studied a plant like utazi for its anti-diabetic properties. Utazi is Gongronema latifolium. Through lab analysis, they've identified specific compounds that reduce blood glucose levels and develop standardized extracts for clinical trials. Those clinical trials are currently ongoing. Unfortunately, none of them is currently ongoing in Nigeria. But you look at a plant like Gongronema, that's the utazi, it can be repurposed for diabetes. So if we're looking at it holistically, can we package utazi in a way that somebody can take it as tablets or as a syrup, or even as a pre-cooked meal, say with beans or something? So these are the things that pharmaceutical optimization brings to the table. The next part I would like to touch on is the novel delivery methods, which is what I have also mentioned about, making herbs more effective. We will, for the students of botany and pharmacognosy, you will know that quite enough, the fresher you eat a vegetable, the more effective that vegetable is. But we realize that all around the world, there is no country that has a perfect season 12 months round. So you will have some time when those vegetables are not in season, and you still want to consume them either as food or as medicine. So we must be able to have a way to harness these herbs to be effective, even when you are not having access to eating them fresh. And that is where delivery methods come into play. Traditional herbal teas and decoctions are effective, but they are limited by poor bioavailability and most of the time usually have a short shelf life. Modern delivery systems solve this by nano-encapsulation, where you can protect the active compound to improve the absorption. Moringa leaf extracts in nano-encapsulated form can be developed to improve immune support. And I believe there are about 2 companies in Canada that are currently developing nano-encapsulated moringa leaf extracts for immune support. Then transdermal patches. How many of us know that pepper is very, very good for pain? That's for the Yorubas in the house, atatarodo. Pepper is very effective for pain. One of the things that you can redesign pepper as is a pain relief patch. The Indians, the South Americans have gone very far with the development of capsaicin gels. And I think there's some of them in the Nigerian market now. Capsaicin gels, and they are very good for pain relief. How about we look at how we can have transdermal patches that contain pepper that can be used to relieve pain. I can see some what do you call it, comments. Yes, pepper is good for pain. When you are able to overcome that initial pepperish sensation, the capsaicin inside there actually works on your pain receptors, and it's very good to use to manage nerve pain and pain from sports injury. Then when you also have people that, you know, have been on opioids and you want to wean them off opioids, giving them capsaicin-based products would be good. So how about we have our athletes that are running and you know, how about we have them use transdermal patches that are based off of pepper and some of our essential oils. Nigeria has a host of essential oils, so that when you now put that thing on the body as a patch, it infuses into the system and the person begins to experience pain relief. That is a direct method that we can use to make herbs more effective. Now, the weather has just been up and down. If I ask how many people have catarrh, sore throats, cough, quite a number of us are going to raise our hands. We can make our herbs more effective to target throat infections. Usually, if somebody has a cough or something, they'll say, oh, go and take pepper soup, drink pepper soup, or drink warm water. When you're making your pepper soup, what vegetable do you put in it? Most of the time, you put your saint leaf in it. Then you have some people lick on honey and ginger. There are a lot of ginger honey lozenges that are coming in from China into the Nigerian market for targeting throat infections. But our own brand of ginger is one of the most effective sources of gingerol, which is very good as an anti-inflammatory agent. So if we are able to get extracts of that ginger, mix it with the extracts from saint leaf, and then just create, even if it is not a herbal lozenges, just a liquid that you mix with a base of our honey from Kwara State, that gives us herbal lozenges. And in that way, we've now made our products, the herbs, more effective and stable. And as you all know, once it's good honey, especially the ones that are coming from Kwara, the ones that are coming specifically from the Enugu Nsukka axis, that honey is forever, it doesn't spoil. So if you suspend some of this ginger and saint leaf extract in a way that will be scientifically modulated, you can have herbal lozenges that would manage throat infections. Then the next thing I will talk about is functional foods. Functional foods just tell you, another name for functional foods is two things: nutrition plus therapy. That's a functional food. Let me repeat myself. When we talk about functional foods, it means nutrition plus therapy. How are we eating what we eat? If we are looking at delivery methods to make herbs more effective, we must look at functional foods. An example of a functional food is bitter leaf juice. Now, you don't need to go and squeeze that bitter leaf and drink the bitter one, because me, under gunpoint, I won't do that either. But are you looking at eating the bitter leaf? You know, there are strains of bitter leaf that are not so bitter. Now, for you to create that into a functional food, especially maybe if you are taking antibiotics, we can have farmers grow the strain of bitter leaf that is not so bitter. You likely wash, saute it with your tomatoes that have lycopene, and then add your therapeutic drugs. Maybe they gave you vitamin C or they gave you zinc. You have now made that bitter leaf more effective, and you have turned that bitter leaf into a functional food. Another way you can create your functional food is if you are eating your vegetable soup. You won't cook the vegetables as if you want to kill the vegetables to go to heaven. No, you likely saute your vegetables so that they still have your the nutrients they contain. That's the nutrition. Then you now add your therapy. And that's why there are some drugs that they will tell you, take these drugs with food. When doctors tell you that, just know that the delivery method is creation of a functional food. So let's move ahead to, I will touch on nutrition enhancements, herbs as functional foods. Now, herbs are increasingly used to enrich our foods every day. I'm still on functional foods. So, for example, you can add your moringa powder to pap or smoothies for iron and calcium. You can have your turmeric and ginger in fortified beverages as anti-inflammatory effects. Now, your turmeric and your ginger, they were not designed for us to eat it in large quantities. Very small quantities, you use it to fortify your beverages and you have very good anti-inflammatory effects. Then you have your baobab fruit pulp that can be added in yogurt to enhance vitamin C and antioxidant activities. This combination improves nutritional profiles and offers preventive health benefits, which is very, very important in Nigeria, where micronutrient deficiencies are very common. So, of course, there are challenges that we will face, especially with creating the dosage forms that we are looking at, lack of regulatory clarity with NAFDAC. Then there's also limited funding for starting herbal research. And then you also have some of our colleagues that are in the hospital that are skeptical about conventional medical practitioners. But I must say this and state it very clearly. Before conventional medicine came in, we had our own indigenous medicine. So we must look at developing our own indigenous medicine and use it side by side with conventional medicine. More importantly, we must look at our own indigenous medicine and turn them into functional foods. That will be the only way out. And of course, when we consider this, there must be collaboration between universities and pharmaceutical companies. There must be collaboration between product developers for conventional medicine and product developers for herbal medicine. We must have community-based clinical trials, and the herbal products must be designed in a way that we can have export potential. Because look, whether we like it or not, our own indigenous products is what we use to make money. And once you start making money, the government will recognize you and they will start keying into that area. If we look at the market now for herbals worldwide, it's a huge market. How much of that are we tapping into? Then when we are looking at the herbal drug market, are we looking at the herbal food market? Are we developing herbal products that can be promoted as functional foods? These are the things that I think our discourse today should raise some interest. Then I would like to add that we already have quite a number of these products. Jobilin, which is a sorghum-based antioxidant supplement, is in the market. We have immune boosters, standardized anti-malarial remedies that are from Artemisa annua are already in the market. Now, let's even take Artemisinin as a case study. Artemisinin is a plant from China. They did their politics well, carried their Chinese plant, went to WHO, carried the chemist, synthesized it, and the whole of Africa, we are all drinking Artemisinin derivatives. What happened to our dogonyaro? Why can't we develop our dogonyaro as a malaria remedy and carry our dogonyaro in our hand and pursue WHO to make it worldwide malaria remedy? We have our plants. We can use them as functional foods. We should look at developing them into medicines. And as far as I'm concerned, ram it down the throat of WHO so that it becomes widely accepted. But we need to accept it from our own end first. So finally, the fusion of herbal science and pharmaceutics, it's not about blending the old and the new, because I don't believe herbal medicine is the old. Herbal medicine is the now. It's about unlocking the full potential of nature through innovation. And Nigeria, with its biodiversity and cultural heritage, is very uniquely positioned to lead this transformation. And I think the discussions we're having now would lead us to exploring herbal pharma ventures in Nigeria. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Dr. Margaret. That was a lot of information. Okay, she's a nutritionist, consultant, and a graduate of biochemistry from the University of Lagos. She specializes in nutritional medicine and molecular reproductive health, and she's also a British certified fitness instructor and a health coach in training at the Institute for Integrative Nutrition, New York. I think at this point I would have to stop to say thank you to Mrs. Jeje for bringing these people to us. Thank you so much for bringing these people to us. Thank you, Mrs. Jeje, like I said. So, Dr. Stella is a proud member of multiple international bodies, including the American Academy for Anti-Aging Medicine and the American Society for Nutrition. She's known for a vibrant approach to wellness, breaking down complex health science into simple, relatable lessons, just like she's about to do here for us today. So today she'll speak on how we can make nutrition a daily act of medicine. Please welcome Dr. Stella with me, guys.
I'll start by asking you this question. Thy food shall be thy medicine, and thy medicine shall be thy food. Who said that? Hypocrites. Take away the cause and effect ceases, Diminguel Cervantes. Beloved, I wish above all things that thou mayest prosper and be in divine health as thy soul prospereth. 3 John 2. Distinguished attendees, this midday, we want to briefly share with you on lifestyle. I want to appreciate the knowledge sharing we received from Dr. Margaret. Thank you so very much. I've learned a lot. I want to thank my dear, fantastic friend, Kemi, for Mrs. JJ, for allowing me the opportunity to be with you this midday. So when we say lifestyle is medicine, I know we are looking at nutrition today in this aspect of our sharing. When we say lifestyle is medicine, what are we talking about? What does that mean to you? I'm sure she mentioned the dogoyaro and drugs like artesunate and all that. When we say lifestyle, that really simply says to you, lifestyle is like a prescription. Like you go on a malaria course, treatment course, and they tell you, take this tablet, 8 hours later, take another tablet. Then in the morning, they take one tablet, then at night, take another one, and do that for another 2 days. That will be a 3-day course. So lifestyle is that pill that you pop in consistently, constantly, continually, on a regular basis, non-stop. Some of them are short-term, some of them are long-term, some of them are life-term. So at WholeEats, in our nutrition space, we are motivated to help people live their best lives and kind of create that ripple effect across the globe. That's really our passion. That's our drive. It's not just really WholeEats Africa. We are looking at, internationally. And when how do we drive? How do we deliver our, concept? This lifestyle, how do we express them? We do that through what we call 3 core concepts. What are those 3 core concepts? The first one is the core concept that believes that individuality means. It just simply means that you are the only version of you. You are an original. You don't have 2 of you in the whole universe, just only you. Which really just also means that the things that support your health and wellness are unique to you. The things that support your health and happiness are unique to you. So what does that mean? That means that you as an individual should intentionally identify what those things are and engage them. Times are gone when you just log into one TikTok or one, and then you just download and start applying them to yourself. Find out what works for you. What works for you may not work for your spouse, for your children, for your even twin sister or twin brother. We need to, be very proactive as individuals, even as families, as organizations, and to find out what it is and then connect. So bio-individual also means that the things that work for you 10 years ago may not be relevant to you now. And the things that are working for you now may not be important in the next 15 years. We are dynamic. We just keep reinventing the processes that, are relative to us. The next is primary food. It may not be our bane today, but primary food is that space that we don't look at, but they are key. They are phenomenal. They actually correlate our diet, fitness, functional state, and our relationship to our overall well-being. Is that space that looks at how our emotional, physical, and functional state influence our well-being. So when I talk about primary food, I'm saying to you that it doesn't matter how many basket loads of fruits, vegetables you take in on a daily basis, right? If you are quarreling with your mother-in-law, fix it. Because all of that apple won't do nada to you. So there are other spaces that we should, be sure that we are active and we are doing, performing, grading ourselves well, like 80%, 100%, right? Then the last one among these three concepts is the secondary food. What is secondary food? It is those things that nourishes us from the food we eat. Nourishment we derive from our food. And it's what we call the intersection between nutrition and diet. It's not just diet. So if you're looking at diet, it's the piece of the puzzle. And when we look at that secondary food, there are so many factors that drive secondary food. Number one is gender, your age, economic status, culture, so many things that influence that space. And so we also at WholeEats Africa, express our three core concepts through what we call the 6 cylinders of lifestyle as medicine. What are those 6 cylinders? Number one is appropriate plant-based nutrition. 2 is functional fitness. 3 is what we call smoking or addiction issues. People are addicted to so many things. For some, it's ice block. Some is small chops. Some is ice cream. You'll be shocked. Some is, or the crazy things people eat, and it gets them, sick. Now, the third one, you talk about sleep, stress, and then love, social genomics. So what about diet? We are looking today really at diet and nutrition. What about diet? Is there anything like a perfect diet? There's nothing like that. It's all, multifactorial. And so, she had, our dear Dr. Margaret had spoken to us a lot she had spoken to us a lot about different plants and how we can utilize them to address metabolic syndromes, to keep fit, to keep healthy. And so I'll just quickly look at a few of them. Like if you see the slide, maybe kindly help me and scroll a bit up, you will see that the plant, okay, so I had earlier, I think it was in 2012, I had gone for a conference abroad in the United States, and I met someone who said to me, still scroll up please, I met someone who said to me, I want to come to Africa, I'm coming to Nigeria with you. And thank you, and what was he talking about? He said, you have more sun, you have much more sun than we do, so your plants are extremely potent. The potency in your plants are amazing. He says, in fact, he was going to come and sign MOUs with universities, with the government, Nigerian government, and all of that. But somehow we disconnected, we lost contact, and we didn't progress on that. But that tells you that God loves us. God loves Africa, Nigeria. God loves us a lot. And everything around you is powerful and important in our nutritional wellness space. And so you don't want to take them for granted. I want to thank Dr. Margaret again. She's already told us a lot. So when we talk about like antioxidants, you can make juices that can refresh you. revitalize you, support your immune system, boost immune support, arrest inflammation, arrest pain, load you with vitamins and minerals. They are all out there. So we have the fruits, but we are advocating at this time that you should de-emphasize the fruits that are high in sugar, which will be ripe pineapple, ripe pawpaw, and watermelon. I saw a client recently who said to me, I love watermelon, but I went to the hospital and they said to me, I have fatty liver. So the fact that the fruits are out there, they are good, you need to de-emphasize the ones that are high sugar content, because they will also have their pathway. It's been identified recently. There's this glycogen pathway that they follow, and they can cause fatty liver. So our nutritional advice to you is, please eat them, but maybe once or twice a week. Lean more towards the vegetables. The vegetables are fantastic. They are not high in sugar. You have beetroot, you have cauliflower, especially for our women, for balancing hormones. You have broccoli, you have cucumber. Cucumber is extremely fun. It's alkaline, 100% alkaline. If you are looking to balance and our body system, our normal homeostasis alkaline. If you're looking to balance the alkaline, and most times we eat the wrong things that send us into the acidic zone, pH, above and below 7. You want to go alkaline. You're looking at things like the cucumber, carrot, beetroot, lettuce, and all that. There's a formula, a friend of mine gave to me, and I've been using it for my clients. It's called black. So that black, what does it mean? Beetroot is a juice blend you can use, arrest inflammation, helps even with metabolic syndromes. What does black mean? It does BLAC, right? Black, B is for beetroot, L is for lemon, A is for apple, C, it can be multiple C's, carrot, cucumber, okay, and a whole host of other C's. So you want to, get these things into your homes and use them. Like she said, do not buy these things and store for long. Just buy a little bit of it, use for the week, buy again, make sure they are fresh. Otherwise, if you store them there, they are just like crunch. The enzyme, once the plant is disconnected from its source, the nutritional values begins to depreciate. So get them fresh, eat them fresh. I want to say to you, sometimes you think it's expensive to live healthy. No. What you want to do is look at the things that are in season and make sure you buy a lot of it. Number one, they are going to be cheap because they are everywhere. Number two, God put them there for that season to help you overcome all the things that are flying around in that season. All the things that are out there in the season, God put those things there too. So orange is in season now. Buy them in baskets. Eat them. You shore up your immune system, boost your immune support for the season ahead, that there will be all sorts of, harmattan, cold, and you are predisposed. So you are ready to go. So there is mango. Mango is very good for ulcer, but if it's high in sugar, de-emphasize. So she had mentioned bitter leaf. It's extremely very good for ulcer. Bitter leaf we did in our lab anatomy department in College of Medicine, University of Lagos, and we lacerated and we saw that bitter leaf was even better than drugs in healing the ulcer, gastritis, and all of that. But you need to check again and be sure there's no Helicobacter pylori that could cause problem. So we have the teas. WholeEats is big and huge on teas. Man, you want to go in there and do a lot. There's mango teas. Oh my goodness. And all you have to do is just get 3 leaves, boil, or get the sachet they've already pre-packed. Get the sachet and put in your mug and pour your hot water, allow to stand for 10 minutes and drink all day long. Just keep infusing and drink all day long. If you don't have access to that, just get 3 leaves of boil and drink all day long. People are getting sick because you are eating a lot of sugar, whether it's honey, even if it's dates, or white sugar. White sugar is the worst, but all of them are just in the same space. We are not saying don't eat, but de-emphasize those things. When you talk about, she mentioned beans. Beans is ecologically and economically responsible, but it's the preparation. You know that a lot of things are being used now to preserve, and that is the downside we are experiencing. People all over, there's cancer everywhere, there's kidney, renal problem. Why? Our foods are being compromised. People are looking for how they can, make quick money. So they do all sorts of crazy things. You need to be very alert. You need to be very scared. Before I eat out now, it will be very tough because you don't know what they have put there. You need to make your own food. You need to make your own meals. Unless you are sure of it, most times it's white Maggie. So we need to be much more conscious about what we are putting into our system. We need to take time out to make our own meals. Carry your food. That's my advice. Anywhere you're going, right? So you have people that are making, like the beans I said to you, please kindly, if you want to prepare beans, you have gas because there's oligosaccharide on the skin. Use onions, garlic, and ginger parboil. But before you parboil, please do what we call fast blanching to remove the toxic substances or elements they've used to preserve so that it won't have weevil. So do that for almost all your grains. Fast blanch, use hot water, pour in, remove 3 times before you even put to start cooking. Then put onions, garlic, and ginger. That will help your beans to, boil, get, tender and not give you gas. Now, in terms of groundnuts are good if you eat freshly roasted ones. Please do not buy the shelf ones. Cashew nuts are acidic. If you take them, take something green to alkalinize your system, right? When you talk about, egg, the yolk there is cholesterol based. So please de-emphasize. We have found that in terms of metabolic syndromes, arthritis is all triggered mostly by dairy-based food. Do you want to continue to trigger arthritis? No, you don't want to do that. So de-emphasize protein. Go for your fruits, vegetables, a little bit of carbohydrates, especially if you're looking to lose weight. For those that are diabetic, it's really the fatty tissue that's covering the cells of, the cell membrane. You want to lose some weight, you need to change what you're eating. You need to exercise. For those that are maybe like the arthritis, de-emphasize protein. For those that are hypertensive, you want to look at, cutting off any food that comes from anything that has a face. You need to look at the nutrients in the whole foods that we have around us and make sure you utilize them. I'm sure I've taken more than my time, so let me stop here, and then during question time, I can explore more and share. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Dr. Stella. Thank you so much. That was really refreshing and it was real. I think we all just, redefined what healthy eating truly means. For me, I love how you make the science of nutrition sound like self-care and not sacrifice. You make it, known to us that this is what we do as our daily lifestyle. And like you said, lifestyle is like a prescription. That is something I have in my head right now. Lifestyle is like a prescription. And I'm sure every other person in this webinar as well has gotten something from what you shared with us. Thank you so much. Now, for those that have also, you know how powerful your bitter leaf is, and other plants that were mentioned in during the course of the lecture. Thank you so much. Please let's encourage Mrs. Dr. Stella. Thank you so much. Thank you. So, like I had earlier mentioned, if you have your question, please you can drop them in the chat box. When we get to the Q&A session, we would take them. So without wasting our time, because we're a little behind schedule and we have just 15 minutes for each speaker, I'd like to invite our next speaker. I think it's time for us to connect science and nutrition with something that's equally important to every one of us here, which is sustainability and entrepreneurship. It is what we do. It is part of what we do in WholeEats. So please, guys, welcome Mr. Adeolu Akinyemi. Mr. Adeolu Akinyemi is a serial entrepreneur, business coach, and wellness advocate. He's passionate about using collaboration as a tool for building thriving wellness businesses and resilient communities. Today, he'll show us how teamwork, innovation, and purpose-driven business can power Africa's wellness economy. Of course, that's why we're here today, to see how we can collaborate. We've heard from Dr. Margaret. We've heard from about herbs and pharmaceutical optimization. We've heard from Dr. Stella as well about how we can use food as our daily medicine. And then now let's see how we come together to collaborate together with entrepreneurship to see how we can foster wellness. So please welcome with me Mr. Akinyemi as he takes us on this session. Please
Okay.
let's welcome him.
Thank you very much, Rachel. Thank you. I appreciate. I'd like to first of all thank Mrs. Jejelomo for inviting me. I'd like to also stand on the existing protocols and thank Dr. Stella and I believe Dr. Margaret Ilumoanya as well for the work they've done already. So I think what I need to do here is very simple. Is just extend those conversations. I'm sure we already feel very pumped about the possibilities
Hello, where are you going?
and the potentials of herbs. I think we can silence and,
Sorry.
and you can help us silence the other voices so that we can have a good meeting. Good.
No problem.
So very quickly, I like to talk from where they stopped and just extend it towards sustainability. And the key idea here is we know, right, that we have lots of herbs in Africa. These herbs have nutritional value. These herbs are good for our health. The nutritionist has explained, the healthcare person has explained, the pharmacist has explained. We know that there's value, there's gold, literally gold, in some of these herbs and some of these nutrients, some of these phytochemicals, some of these active elements. There's literally gold there. I'm sure we're all aware of testimonies and stories of people who have used certain herbs, who have taken certain teas, who have used different products to achieve phenomenal things in fertility, in illness, in curative, in preventative, in different aspects of life. So the question is, how do we convert this into something that is able to create wealth? How does this gold, right, get to be mined? And how does this gold get out there to create value that helps us to dig deeper into what is possible? And I'd like just to say that the key element here is about collaboration, right? I think one of the things that slows us down in Africa is each person trying to do everything. So somebody is predominantly a farmer. The farmer is farming, and then he realizes that what he's farming has value. And instead of him to grow the farming into something that becomes huge in scope, he decides to venture into learning a little nutrition as well. Of course, because he's a farmer, basically, he's not as clear in communicating as Mrs. Margaret. He's not as clear in explaining as the Dr. Stella. And then he forays and says, let me even have a product and let me begin to sell it. And because he's trying to do everything by himself or herself, there's so much that the person can do. I believe where we begin to get a lot of scalable value here is when we do a lot more collaboration. And I think there's a very simple 3 C's formula that I put together, that says collaboration, credibility, and consistency equals to capital. So call it the 3C equation. And the idea is that capital isn't just financial, right? It is the accumulated trust, knowledge, networks that enable sustainable impacts. The formula represents the foundation of every successful wellness enterprise building resilient across Africa, building resilience across Africa. So the idea is, first of all, which part of this ecosystem do I want to belong to? And I, for example, I'm here today, I'm speaking on behalf of the side of it that is entrepreneurial, the side that says, what exactly is the pain point that we want to solve? What's the gap in society that we would like to fix? So why these herbs? What are they for? And what can be the kind of problems that we are trying to solve, right? So essentially, there needs to be a problem. Entrepreneurs work from the point of view that there's something that is wrong, something that needs to be fixed, right? And that thing that needs to be fixed, we can participate in joining to fix it. So, and for this space that we're in, it can be illness, right? It can be literally illness. It can be literally stress. It can be a nutrition issue. It can be an immunity issue. There could be various things that are staring us in the face as the challenges that we would like to solve. Now, as entrepreneurs, once we identify what the pain points are, what the challenges are, we rely on the other people that we can collaborate with. So, for example, today, I'm sure if I sit down in many meetings with the like of the people that I've spoken today, Dr. Stella and Dr. Margaret, if I stay in too many meetings with them, I probably will come up with more products, right? I'll come up with more products, more ideas for products that can thrive in the market, because that's what happens. So the idea is, rather than trying to see how we can invent everything ourselves, if we collaborate, we're able to create maybe laboratories or research, we're able to invest collectively in research and development. The people who are doing the research can also help us with education, customer education, and help ensure that we're not just marketing, right? We're also educating people as we market. So the real idea here, can we please mute so that we can hear? Thank you very much. So essentially, what we want to be able to do is build a community around this space. There's huge potentials here. Like Dr. Stella said, there's very good sunlight in Africa. Another thing that's available in Africa is most of what we call herbs today are grown naturally. So we're not even doing any fertilization. We're not doing major work on altering the chemistry of the products within Africa, because most of these products are still still existing in their natural forms in many farms, even as weed. So when we talk about some particular herbs, you know, talk about dogoyaro. How many people are planting dogoyaro, right? How aggressively are people planting scent leaf? How aggressively are people planting lemongrass? How aggressively are people planting the different herbal elements that have this nutritional value and are able to make a difference. Of course, the ones we use for food are things that we're doing commercially, but from the herbal space, there's a lot of opportunity available from Africa. Their research also still shows that there's a lot of value that is here because the herbs and the products are still very much in their natural form, very much the way they were supposed to be, and can add value that way. So it's about asking ourselves, how do we create a product? So from what we learn from the nutritionists, or what we learn from science and from medicine, we realize, okay, this particular active ingredients, this particular product has antioxidant values. How do we take this as a product into the market? How do we refine this into something that is possible for everybody to be able to just pick and use, right? I believe that's the element that the entrepreneurs bring in. So for example, for WholeEats, for the products that they've done research on and they've got some research insights on and they've put together to sell, reality is one new person who doesn't need to go into the bush to cut the leaves themselves, assemble them together themselves, and then cook them under STP. They don't have to do those pain points because somebody has done all the pain points for that, package it together, and is making it available commercially. Okay, so essentially what happens here for this collaboration is that the nutritionists define the need, okay, the researchers prove efficacy, and the entrepreneurs deliver access. Okay, so together they create scalable wellness ecosystems, right? So essentially, we have science, we have nutrition, and we have enterprise. Capital flows fastest through connection. So once we have these three, areas coming together, things are possible. And I can give you one example of how this can work. So for example, if we say we look at moringa, okay, so the local farmers grow moringa organically. And before moringa became something that was researched to have strong micronutrient profile and to be useful for a variety of ailments, a variety of needs, maybe the farmers are not selling so much. Okay, but the researchers validate that this is a micronutrient, this is a very solid product with solid micronutrients. This is what it can do, this is what is possible. And then a wellness company takes it and packages it into teas, right, for schools and for exports. And the impact is, guess what? 10,000 schools or 10,000 school meals are fortified monthly. 200 farmers are earning stable income. Export is happening internationally and people are earning foreign exchange. Collaboration multiplies both health and wealth. So what you want to do is you want to ensure that wherever you find yourself, if you're the farmer, and there's value on every aspect of this chain. So there's value for the farmer because now, it can have a consistent place that he's supplying or she's supplying because they're providing moringa. For the researcher, they can keep on doing research, keep on writing their papers, keep on validating the local herbs that we have on an international scale. I like what Mrs. Margaret said when she talked about how smart China was to ensure that their own brand of a particular product is what they take to WHO, Artemisia, take to HMO, take to WHO, and ensure that the world can use it. Whereas we have Artemisia here as well. Basically, just means whatever happens, the economy, whatever happens with cost, whatever happens with policy, this business continue to thrive through governments. They continue to thrive through policies. They continue to thrive whatever is happening within the space. And what you want to be able to do, how do you make this happen? Is this collaboration as well, right? Resilience will help collaboration become easy. So you want to ensure that you have local sourcing. So we're not importing these products, that people can supply this locally. I'll give you an example of an idea. Somebody came to meet me about one herb they're growing in their neighborhood, and I put something together to say, you know what, we can actually create people who are gardening in their homes, and we can give them the kits of the particular products we want them to farm because we need these products, and we are tired of being taken for granted by people who are selling in the open markets that we have no relationship with. And we get our community to begin to plant these herbs and be the first off-taker from them as well, buy from them, so that our journey from soil to shelf is built on trust with people that we know, right? And then we can have education-driven marketing, where we need the researchers, we need the nutritionists to help us in education, right? So rather than marketing and saying this product is good, can do this, we actually make it education, right? So that it builds credibility, right? So we teach before we sell. We help people understand why antioxidants good, what is the difference between medication that helps you suppress your pain and one that attacks the issue from the root cause. What's the difference between the things that are cellular in their operations and the things that just basically fix the pain? So education-driven marketing, integrated value chain, so we can control raw materials, processing, and the story behind the products. And of course, we can have hybrid distribution models, online and referral marketing, community hubs. We can have all of those together. So resilient businesses think like farmers. They plant deeply, they diversify their crops, they collaborate, they work with others, and they make sure that they are foolproof, so that whatever is happening within the climate, there's a proverb in my language that says it's very easy to break a broom that is just one stick, but when they band together, they're very difficult to destroy, they're very difficult to break. So resilience in this kind of business model will also be about collaboration, working together and ensuring that we have ecosystems and communities that drive the sales of this product, the education about this product, and the proliferation of natural products as a way for people to get healed. I like the quotations from the doctor when she said, what Hippocrates said, what the Bible said. If you read the Bible, you'll find so many references in the Bible about the leaves being for the healing of the nations, about the value of herbs for man's service, different references made to hyssop, different references made to different herbs, letting you know that this is not just new age information. It's been as ancient as creation, that the things we eat define our health. The biggest element for healthy living is our gut, and it is what we take in that defines our outcomes. And we can make commercial value out of this by identifying the pain points that people have, developing products to suit that pain point, and moving out into the markets with them. So essentially, this is how I say it. I feel it's a good. This kind of meetings are very good meetings because it's a blending. It's a place where the science and the farming meets with the science, meets with the enterprise, right? And if we form the communities well, right, rather than competing with each other doing the same products, there's a very big ecosystem available for natural products that we can all tap into if we have a collaborative outlook. I'll end with this very interesting story that happened this morning. So this morning, as I was making my morning walk, I met with a lady who told me that she was doing executive car services. So like if you have any high profile person coming into town and they need a Prado Jeep, right? She has this vehicle that can pick them up and they can charge per day. And I thought about it. I said, okay, I know somebody who does this business. Let me reach out to the person and see how you can collaborate, right? And typically these things, people don't think about collaboration because competitions, is something that is just natural for people to think about. So I called the person up, and the person said, you know what? Yeah, I have 3 products I'm currently using. I have a space where they can come, can they come out to the airport? Can they see they can get access to the airport? The airports won't give you a lot of money, but it will give you access, and you can get a customer, 2 customers, 3 customers, and they can like you, and that can build the business from there going forward. And these conversations went on, and I realized that rather than competition of how do I, block my area for you to come in, I realized this person also needs more cars as well. This person sometimes gets jobs where they need 4 cars, where they need 5 cars. So adding somebody else to the pool allows them to be able to take on deals they couldn't have taken individually, allows them to be able to join the foray as well. Being on the platform allows, so you just realize that there's a school of thought that wants to corner the whole space and not share with anybody. And it feels that there's value there. That was there's he that withholds more than his meat and it tends to penury, and there's he that scatters abroad and multiply. So essentially, if we're open and realize that there's abundance enough to go around, then we can have an outlook that connects with each other, feed off each other, and really, really support each other as well to ensure that this space, which is huge, by the way, we can make significant things happen from there. I think that's my time. Thank you very much. Over to you, Rachel.
Thank you so much, Mr. Adeolu. That was great. That was really great and very informative. Thank you for showing us how teamwork and innovation works. The resilience business model, the 3 C's. I must say that there are actually quite a number of things. I could have shared my notes, but well, since it's not possible, but I know I have a whole lot of things written here. Thank you so much. Now that we've heard from all 3 speakers, it's time to bring them together for our panel discussion. Right now, I'm not sure Dr. Margaret is here with us, so would have to. Okay, she's here. Thank you, ma'am. So now it's time to bring the 3 speakers together, so we can ask questions. So let's explore how these ideas connect together. So I think I'll go first with Dr. Margaret. So you've shown us the scientific side of herbs. How do you think wellness brands like WholeEats can work with researchers like you to create products that are both safe and accessible?
That one is simple. They should talk to themselves. It's very simple. When you look at people, for example, I have developed a herbal product that is commercially available, a topical cream that's commercially available. I've worked with a range of people that develops different products. So it's basically talking. When you meet people, talk, connect, and then sit down and, look at where you synergize. So basically, what am I saying? Partner with universities and research institutes, then co-develop standardized extracts. Whilst you as the owner of the business may have your own direct outlook, that technicality that is involved comes from people that are in academia, especially people that have developed products, successful products. So what happens is a co-creation and a co-development. So the product must be developed together. You must standardize that product together, co-creation, co-development, and then of course, investing. You must not lose sight of the fact that the person that is coming from academia is bringing a knowledge base that has a value in terms of that has a value that may need to be monetized. So we shouldn't run away from that. If you don't have funds to pay that person now, other legal documents can be drawn up so that that person benefits from that product that has been co-created. I have worked with people that we've developed products before, and then the person, they just ran away. They just disappeared. They just ran away. And you will see these products, and at the time when they need your help, they are there. So I think the last part is for sincerity of purpose. Because I can tell you in Nigeria, there are quite a number of people in academia that are working with foreign brands to develop products. I can tell you that. They work with foreign brands, they're getting funding from outside of Nigeria to develop products. So if we must look at how we will work with those people that are doing this work genuinely to move product development forward. So I think the key word there is co-development and co-creation. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, Ma. Co-development, co-creation. The first one she said was talk, just talk. And I think as little as or as minor as it may sound, or as trivial as it may sound, it's powerful. Talk and collaboration. I think in a nutshell, I would sum it up to say teamwork and collaboration. Thank you very much, Ma. I would have asked Mrs. Stella a question before coming back to you, but then I think I have a follow-up question. You talked about we have people in the academia working for foreign companies to develop drugs and all of that, medications. So we see that I think one of the problem, I don't know if it's safe to say it's a problem, is how we do not really harness what we have, like you have mentioned in your during your conversation. Now, if you go to schools right now, there are a lot of project works by students on use of herbal plants. I personally worked on guava bark for ulcer treatment, and I guess it's just sitting there. After a while, they're going to burn those stuff up, and So I don't know. I think that how do you think that we can, bring all of these ideas together? How do you think, what do you think the problem is, and how do you think we can overcome some of these issues?
There really isn't any problem. The main way pipeline to overcome the issue is to put funding in there. Is to put your money where your mouth is. If you want a product, a herbal product, I noticed you said herbal drugs. We don't just work on herbal drugs, herbal foods, herbal supplements. A
Yeah.
lot of us from here have our
Mm.
principals outside of Nigeria, and they pay to they give us a platform to develop these products as food as medicine and as supplements. And some of the things we are working on, okay, sorry, not some, most of what we are working on are our own indigenous plants. So if we have people that are willing and are open and are sincere, there are a lot of people that won't even ask for money upfront, and they'll work with you. Still the same co-creation, co-development, but there must be funding available for this to happen. It's not going to happen free. It's not going to happen by magic. There must be money available for this to happen. And if we are not harnessing our own, people are already coming from outside to harness our own here.
All right. Thank you very much, Ma. Thank you so much. That is noted. So Dr. Stella, um, you talked to us about how food is how food should be our lifestyle, how we should take it as our daily act. So for many families struggling with food pricing, eating healthy can feel impossible. I know a lot of Nigerians feel that when they call you big man, it's you have pot belly, or you're able to consume 5 plates of rice and all of that. So sometimes it feels impossible for people to live healthy when they hear some of those words. When you hear chia seed, they feel like, oh, where do I want to find that? They feel like it's a foreign word. What practical steps can communities take to eat nutritiously without breaking the bank?
Very much for your question. So, when you talk about healthy eating, in Nigeria in particular, we have own notion, especially in the rural areas. They believe that when you eat well or you eat healthy, is that there's a plate of food that has meat, a cow meat, chicken, eggs, rice, beans, yam, but everything on that same one plate. So that's our measure, that's our gauge for, especially in the rural areas, like you said, the people that have their children that they are doing well out there, they send them money, so they show off. This is their idea of good living. It's not so. It is not so at all. So in terms of common sense and functionally eating well on a good budget, I mean, we can have, as long as there's vegetables, and there are several many types of vegetables that we have out there. 500 naira, max 1,000 naira, we do for a family. And then you have your beans, grains, or rice, whichever one of them. Just make, like I said, blanch, and then prepare. Put this onions, garlic, and ginger. Cook till it is done. Put in those ones. There's iru, there is dawa, there's okpe that we can use to beef up on the nutritional base. On we don't need all, or maybe if there's little bit more money, can add crayfish, and it's a healthy, well balanced meal. The same thing goes for our roots. There's yam, there's cocoa yam. They can harvest those ones. There's plantain. Plantain is in season at the moment. They shouldn't do a lot of the overripe or ripe ones. They should do mid-ripe or green. The greener, the better for plantain. So we have all those things out there, and they grow them. So they get them in, just vegetables, put the little spices, and that's it. It's a whole healthy meal. And I advocate that, I mean, that can be just once a day, waking moments, and even about to go to sleep. They should get their oranges in, the mangoes are there, guava, there are so many fruits where we have cucumber, we have carrots, lettuce, they are all out there. It is, like I said, it is cheap to live healthy, in the sense that if we program ourselves to look out for the things that are in season, because they are in season, they are available, they are low cost, and they are healthy. So we should, I said to us again, please do not buy to store. Buy just for the week or for 2 days or 3 days, and then consume. Go back in again, get them fresh. The moment you disconnect any leaf from its source, it depreciates in value. So let's be aware of that. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you very much, Maz. That was very insightful. So, with what you've said, I know that if I have just a little money, I can hit healthy. Doesn't have to be in quantity, but in quality. Thank you so much, Ma. So, lastly, Mr. Adeolu, I was going to ask you about resilient, what a resilient business model looks like, but you clearly did justice to that. So, I'd like to ask. You talked about collaboration and you talked about capital. How do we make partnerships between science, nutrition, and entrepreneurship work beyond events like this? In the real life, how do we make this partnership work? You had talked about collaboration and capital, and I would like to know how we can make partnership between science, nutrition, and entrepreneurship work just beyond events like this. Because most time when events like this come up, it's sometimes all talks, and we do not see the real life evidence of this. So how do we bring this to life?
Yeah, so I think Dr. Margaret already spoke to this. I think the key word is win-win, designing win-win scenarios, right? So everybody wants to win. At the end of the day, right? Business it's about making money, isn't it? About adding value in such a way that you can make enough money to continue to add value, so you can make money to continue to add value in a sustainable way. So essentially,
Yeah.
I believe how collaboration will happen is when we respect the value of each contributor enough to design a way for them to win. The nutritionists will need to earn value because they understand, they understand and they have clarity on why and how much. The researchers are the ones who give validation. They bring that turns the belief into science, and the entrepreneurs markets with the products. So the entrepreneurs are the ones who, the formula for winning is very easy. Selling price minus cost price. For the researchers, there needs to be a way to compensate them as well. For the nutritionists, you have to find a way to compensate as well. I believe that once everybody is happy, then the business is sustainable. So, like for example, some of the things I'm hearing and the conversations that's happening today, there are people in this meeting I'll like to reach out to and connect with. And I think that's how you should be as well. Find somebody who is saying something that you want to hear. The truth is, not everybody can sell, right? Not everybody will sell at the same level. So there are things that somebody can create, somebody else can sell. There's things that somebody else. So it's about, in this kind of meetings, identifying people who are talking your lane, connecting with them, finding what they have, finding what you need, finding what would meet the market's need, and developing a win-win conversation, a win-win proposal around it. Sometimes people start without having money, so there will be agreements that says as we earn, you earn. If you have money already, you say, look, this is how much I'm willing to pay for this. How much are you willing to charge? And then those conversations happen. Once everybody wins, at the end of the day, you see the product doing well. You have a sense of pride in knowing that you're a part of the story. It's like your secondary school teacher seeing that you have become the CBN governor. He's proud. He's proud that his product, is now taking charge of big institutions. So the same way, everybody has an input into what makes the product successful. It would be good if everybody had a little win in that journey as well. I hope this helps.
All right, thank you so much. Thank you so much for answering that question. And that gave us insight into what the future holds and what we can all do. Straight up, we're supposed to take our Q&A session right now, but we are a little behind schedule. So I'm just going to take one question. I think the other questions here have been answered by our speakers. So this question is from Tomilayo Israel. It says, from okay, how can business balance profits making with genuine community wellness impact? I think Mr. Adeolu, I think that should be directed to you.
Sorry, I didn't get the question very well.
Okay, how can business balance profit making with genuine community wellness impact?
I don't think there's anything you want to balance. Essentially, you can achieve both. It doesn't have to be, one doesn't need to reduce, but it has to increase. Right? So the idea is profits, the way I see profit is about sustainability. If your business is only about making money, then it's not a business. So the idea is, this pain point I want to solve, this problem I want to solve, this value I want to add, at what price point can I do it that allows me to continue to do it and allows me to continue to increase my capacity to do it? So the balance is in that philosophy. The balance is, I want to make enough profit to scale this. I want to make enough to be able to do this again and not have to stop because I can't do it anymore. So I'm not sure you want to balance. It's not, you don't have to reduce. Of course, you want to have impacts. You want to have testimonies because you want to have validation to say your products, whatever it is you're selling, is working, right? When you have that validation and you're making profits, you can continue to go back to the production and make more. So I think is, once you have the equation correct to say, I want to add value sustainably, I want to add value in a way that allows me to scale, right? So you have to make profits, otherwise you will not continue. Nobody will continue a business where they are losing money. Even if their passion wants them to continue, their lack of funds will stop them.
That's true. That's very true. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you. So, Israel and every other person, we can hear um, the answer to that question. So it's a win-win thing. There is really no balance, like you said. So thank you very much. And like I said, because of time, we may not be able to attend to all the questions, but please, um, kindly follow our social media handles and drop your questions. We'll forward them to our speakers and get back right to you on the answers that you seek. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. For me, it's been an amazing session, honestly. And I can say that I have learned what collaboration is when it comes to nutrition, entrepreneurship, and herbs. So it's clear that curiosity and collaboration will drive the next wave of food innovation in Africa. I can tell that from this webinar we've just we're having right now. So that we don't waste so much of our time as we close, I would like to once again invite Mrs. Kemi to give us a brief closing remark so that we to end the session. Can you hear me? Can anybody hear me?
Loud and
All
clear.
right. Oh, okay. All right. Thank you very much. Seems Mrs. Kemi is not here right now, so would have to move along. But I'd wish she was here to, give us a closing remark. So as we close, I think we should take a moment to reflect, like I mentioned. And for me, one unrelated um lesson I've learned from this webinar, away from the theme for the day, is collaboration. Let me use that word because I can see where all the speakers come up and say, thank you to my friend, Mrs. Kemi Jeje. That's thank you to my friend. It just shows the kind of people that they are surrounded with, or she's surrounded with, and what kind of mind she has around her. Little wonder we see what all it is trying to do in the community. So today we've seen that resilience is not just a scientific idea, it's a lifestyle. So if farmers growing herbs, scientists improving them, and entrepreneurs sharing them, and families embracing them, it's all about that. And on behalf of WholeEats Africa, I want to thank our amazing speakers, Dr. Margaret, Dr. Stella, and Mr. Adeolu, for sharing their brilliance and their passion. And thank you, our audience, for joining us on this journey. Please don't forget to follow us on our social media handles. We are WholeEats Africa on LinkedIn, Instagram, Twitter, and you see our other sister brands, Community Pots, It's NutriPots, and Medity. So that's those are our sister brands. So please do well to follow them. So let's keep the collaboration alive and beyond today on social medias, in our kitchens, and in our communities. I'm Rachel Ochoechi once again, and it's been my honor to moderate this session. Please stay nourished, stay inspired, and have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful World Food Day. Eat healthy and make food your lifestyle. Thank you. So sorry, shortly before we leave, I would like us to, let's have a group picture. If that's possible, you can turn on your camera so we can have a group picture together. So have something to post to our community to show them this is what we did today at WholeEats Africa. So yes, please. Can we turn on the camera? Okay. Say all the fine faces behind the camera, please. All right. Are we ready? So can we all say cheese to the camera? Cheese. Okay. Technical team, have we been able to capture that? Cheese to the camera.
Yes, they've captured that.
All
They have.
right. All right. Thank you very much. Oh, Mrs. Kemi Jeje, you're here already. So I think you should just give us a closing remark. We already did that, but since you're here, I think I should still give you the honor.
So I mean, we've kept everybody way longer, and we do have respect for all of your times. We're really grateful that you made this time out. You'll agree with me that it was a very insightful session, and we only just managed to open up this conversation. So be on the lookout as we deepen this conversation and widen it. Have a lovely day, everybody, and thank you once again for being part of the World Food Days Celebration 2025 with us. Have a good day. Bye. Bye-bye, everyone. Have a good day. Thank you.